Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel, and today we are here for another pen review. And today I am reviewing this new pen that was sent to me by Kaweco. This is the new release, the new special edition, and it is called Kaweco Collection Iridescent Pearl. So what we have here is a pen with some iridescent features as shown here in the box. So let's start looking at it. The box has these iridescent part in all four faces and also on this top. I think it's very hard to show, but I think you can see the light there. Nothing on that end, just on this half of the packaging. This is quite nice. White packaging says here Kaweco Collection. So Kaweco collections are kind of special and limited colors that are limited for a certain period of time, but will be available worldwide. So these will tell us that the pen is kind of white, and what we see here is a white pen. About the color of the pen, this is really hard to show, and as the lighting adjustment goes, because now it is in auto exposure, you can see it looking more in the blue side or more in the pink side. Actually, this is an iridescent color. It really looks like pearl. That's the best description. It is a very interesting material. So by now, if you watch my videos, you already know what a Kaweco Sport usually is, but let me just go over the features of the pen in a very quick way, I hope. So what the Kaweco Sport is a pocket pen, so it means it's kind of short. Let me just bring here for a size comparison immediately a Parker Centennial Full, which is a big, not oversized, but a big pen. And you can see this is a short pen, and it has a long cap, as usually happens with pocket pens, and the part of the barrel that stands out of the cap is relatively small. The cap has the Kaweco logo on one top. It is silver colored in this pen. The cap starts in a rounded way, and then it goes to 8 flat facets, and in one of them it says Kaweco Collection. The usual engraving, I have another pen here, on a Kaweco Sport, and this is a sport model, is Kaweco Sport. In this case, it is Kaweco Collection because this is a Kaweco Collection pen. Then the cap unscrews, and let me find the logo there, and let's see how many turns. Around one turn to unscrew, and then you have a cylindrical barrel with a very slight step down here, which is kind of reminiscent of the piston turning knob that used to be in these kind of pens. And then you have this knurled, this knurled part there on the bottom, and you can see here that it says made in Germany. Then you have the threads. Here you have a section that is hourglass shaped, and you have a nib that in this case it is an extra fine nib. This is an extra fine steel nib. That's how this pen comes. The pen can be you can unscrew the barrel, and there you have access to the cartridge that it only takes short international cartridges. This one is a Kaweco cartridge, or it takes also short Kaweco converters. There are two kinds, the bulb type or the piston, the syringe type. None comes with this model. The model comes just this with an ink cartridge, which is not this one, is a royal blue ink cartridge inside. So the pen comes ready to be used. So this is how the pen looks. So what we have here is this kind of material, which is very interesting, the way it glows, the way it is really a unique material. And because I like to show you this stuff, I want to show some comparisons. But before that, let me just go for it. This is a plastic one, so this will be classified into the Skyline series, which means it has chrome trim and silver color engravings. And my phone doesn't want to focus this Kaweco, I guess. And this pen is sold for around 22-23 euros. So it's the regular price of a Kaweco Skyline Sport. Now, I said I was going to show you some comparisons because I think that's a useful thing. Let's start showing this pen against other Kaweco collection pens that were released, mostly some this year and some last year. So the Kaweco collection pens were the light lavender with chrome trim, the vibrant violet with gold trim and made of aluminium, and the dark olive, which is a very beautiful dark olive green. Maybe this is too much light. Then we have the Kaweco Collection Cyan, also with chrome trim, and we have two pens that are not Kaweco Sports. One is from last year, which is the Kaweco Collection Special Red, because this model is the Kaweco Special model, made of aluminium and with this red lacquer that is very nice, and this is a larger pen. And this year it was released also this Kaweco Lilliput, which is Kaweco Collection Lilliput Green. And this is it. This is all the Kaweco Collection pens that were released before these. Let me put here so you can see better the color of that pen. Before this, there was the Kaweco Collector's Edition, which was made kind of for the group of our Facebook group for Kaweco collectors and users, and that pen was, I think, kind of the initial thing for this collection idea. Now let me take these away, and I want to show you some other comparisons with some other pens, so to try to make this as useful as possible. You can see that the cartridge is visible, so this material is slightly see-through, slightly translucent. The same here. You can see the nib, so just focus yourself on the nib and you'll see the nib inside the cap. You'll see the shadow of the nib, so it is visible. Now for some comparison with other pens, I have here 5 Kaweco pens, Kaweco Sport pens, to compare them with. So I have this one, which is the Kaweco Sport. This is an older edition, those metallic lacquered ones, which is a solid color and it looks like metal. There is the Kaweco, which this one is translucent, the Kaweco Art Sport Alabaster, which is a very beautiful one, and this is translucent. There is also the Kaweco Natural Coconut, and this is the most similar in a way in the feel of the material, in the kind of translucency it has, but this one has these pearly quality that this one doesn't. This is the Kaweco Frosted Sport Natural Coconut. And just for the extreme comparison, I have here the Kaweco Skyline Sport White, solid color white, and the Kaweco Classic Sport Transparent. So you can see that, oops, okay, you can see that there is some variation between the pens. This is how it looks like. It's very hard to show on camera, so I hope with this kind of comparison you get some idea. I would say, as I told you, the most similar pen is this one, but imagine the natural coconut with this kind of pearl finish. If I have to think of a pen from other brand that reminds me slightly this one, it would be the Pelikan M200 Golden Barrel, but they are different. This one has this kind of pearl color, as you may see, but this one doesn't have the pearl color, but it has some shimmer in the material itself, so it's a little different. This one is really nice in my opinion. Now, for some size comparisons, I told you this is a pocket pen, so it is a short pen when it is compared with a Parker Centennial Fold and with a Lamy Vista, which is the same thing as a Lamy Safari or a Lamy All-Star. When you put the pens ready to write, which means you uncap the Parker Centennial Fold, you uncap and post the Kaweco Sport, and you uncap the Lamy Vista, you will see that the three pens are about the same size. So it's no longer a small pen. Some people say, oh, but that's a short pen. It's not a short pen, unless you like to use long pens also posted. So if you post a Lamy Safari, yes, a posted Kaweco Sport is small. If you don't do that, a Kaweco Sport is really a full-size pen when posted, and it's meant to be used posted. So this is how the pen looks with its number 5 nib, which is quite small, but it is usually quite good. So now let's go for a writing sample. So for this writing sample, we have here paper, pen, and the ink inside. I have to say that this pen is very hard to show on camera. It's very hard. It messes with all the automatic controls of the camera. So this is the Kaweco Collection Iridescent Pearl with an extra fine steel nib. The ink inside is Kaweco Paradise Blue, which is kind of a turquoise, quite faint and a little more with these extra fine nib. Let me put a little bit more color, more light here. So it's not an ink that stands out a lot with the extra fine nib, but this is the pen that Kaweco sent me for review, this one with the extra fine nib, and the paper that I'm using is the usual Rhodia dot pad. So, about the characteristics of the writing with this pen. I have to say that this nib is quite smooth. It's quite nice for an extra fine nib. You will not find any line variation. And about wetness, it's not a wet pen, as you should imagine for the characteristics of it. It's not meant to be that kind of pen. Sorry, let me just check here. Okay, sorry, I was just looking for a file to put here a short text. About the other characteristics of the pen. So I showed you that you cannot really have some line variation. You can press it harder, but you'll not find a lot with an extra fine nib. Kaweco extra fine nibs tend to be very stiff and very dry, but not too dry. You can see it writes perfectly. About the writing in reverse, it's scratchy and awful with these extra fine nibs, but why would you like to do that kind of thing? Otherwise, I think it is quite smooth nib. However, this is not a butter smooth nib. You may find some feedback, but perfectly good. There are lots of criticism about Kaweco nibs. I don't share that opinion. I'm not saying that some people can't find them scratchy. I don't really think they are. So far, the only nib that I didn't like that much was the extra fine nib on this pen. But what you have to do if you find a nib that you don't like, because I guess there are thousands of Kaweco nibs, you just talk to your seller, and I think it will be easy for them to provide you a replacement nib. So let me just write a short quote and finish this, and you can see how the pen performs. Okay, this is enough. So my handwriting is awful and I don't follow the lines, mostly when I'm looking at the computer screen to see the part of the text that I want to copy. So you can see that the pen wrote perfectly well. No skipping, no problems, even when you write faster. And I think this is really a good pen. It's the same kind of experience I find in many of my other Kaweco Sport pens. So I think that's what you can expect. This will be a pen that will be limited for some time, but I think it's not really hard to find. But I would say this pen may get out of stock in some stores, because I think this finish is really interesting. For me, it has some kind of a retro vibe that is not that usual on pens with this finish. I don't know of any plastic pen with this kind of feel. This is a very kind of finish. This is a very interesting pen. I think this will be really a huge success. It was released a couple of days ago, officially released. I have it for some days, so I've been writing with it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this pen. I will leave links below in the description for where you can find this pen and where you can find also the other pens I showed in the video. So this is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Kaweco for providing the pen, and I hope to meet you here on the channel soon. Bye!